All right, come close. Not too close. We're in a medieval city, and personal space is kind of a modern luxury. It's late afternoon, sliding into evening. The sun is doing that slow, dramatic thing where it hangs low and turns everything gold. The rooftops glow. The stone walls look warm. And for a moment, it almost feels peaceful. Like a postcard. Like a place where nothing bad ever happens. That is the daytime lie. Because medieval cities have two faces. Daytime face is busy, loud, and weirdly friendly. You can hear people talking, animals complaining, carts bumping over stones, somebody selling bread like it's the best thing on earth. And to be fair, it might be the best thing on earth. You do not want to argue with bread in the Middle Ages. But nighttime face is different. Nighttime face does not care about your plans. It does not care about your confidence. It does not care that you watch a lot of documentaries. It cares about one thing. Can you make it to morning? And tonight we are going to find out. We're standing near one of the main streets, not far from the city gate. You can tell because the crowd moves like a river in this direction. People are hurrying, not running, but that fast walk energy. I forgot something and now I'm stressed speed. Everyone has a reason to be moving before dark. And you can hear it in the distance of a bell, or maybe a call. It depends where we are, which city, which year, which faith is louder on the street today. But the effect is the same. It's a sound that tells you time is running out. Not in a romantic way, in a very practical way. Closing time is coming. The market is packing up. You can see stalls folding like tired birds. Cloth canopies come down. Baskets get lifted. Coins get counted. There's a last-minute rush at the food sellers because nobody wants to be stuck tonight with nothing but a hard chunk of bread and regret. Vendors shout their final offers. A fish seller is still trying to convince someone that the smell is fresh. Sure, buddy. Fresh from where? The ocean or your imagination? A woman pulls her child closer as the street gets more crowded. A man shoulders a sack of grain and glances up at the sky like the sky is personally responsible for his stress. Somewhere nearby, a dog barks at a goose. The goose does not care. The goose has survived worse. And then, right in the middle of all this, we have you. You are not dressed right. Not yet. You don't walk right either. You move like someone who is used to smooth sidewalks and streetlights. You look around too much. That sounds harmless, but here it marks you. It says, I'm not from here, and being not from here is going to matter in ways you did not expect. But don't worry, I'm with you. Think of me like your calm, slightly tired guide, the friend who is good at whispering. Maybe don't do that right before you do something that gets you thrown out of a tavern. Because here is the truth. During the day, this city feels safer than it really is. People are around. Eyes are on the street. Shops are open. If you get lost, you can ask someone. If you slip, someone might laugh, but also help. If you drop your coin pouch, somebody might even return it. Daytime brings structure, noise, witnesses, the simple comfort of not being alone. Nighttime takes all that and turns the volume down. And in that quiet, small problems get bigger. A wrong turn becomes being lost. A small injury becomes a real danger. A bad choice becomes your whole night. Look at the gate up ahead. Big wooden doors. Heavy, solid, made to close. Made to separate what is inside from what is outside. The city gate is not just a doorway. It is a rule. If you are outside when it closes, you might not get in. If you are inside when it closes, you might not get out. And that matters more than you think. You can feel the mood shifting already. The air cools as the sun dips lower. Shadows stretch across the street like long fingers. People start speaking faster. Not louder, just quicker. Like everyone's trying to finish their day before the dark arrives. Like the dark is an appointment they forgot. And in a way, it is. Because the medieval night is not just the same city, but darker. It's a new version of the city. Different rhythms, different risks, different people still on the street. You can hear a few doors shutting, wooden thuds, metal latches, bolts sliding. It's a sound that says, we are done being available. Shops do not want trouble after dark. Families do not want strangers knocking late. And if you are still wandering with that lost look on your face, you're going to feel it. So let's do this the right way. Tonight, you and I are going to walk into the night like we belong here. Not loud, not proud, just calm, just careful. Like we have done this 100 times. Like we know the city's little rules. Because you don't win a medieval night by being brave. You win it by being boring. Boring is great. Boring means nobody notices you. Boring means you are not an easy target, not a funny story, not a problem someone wants to solve with a stick. We're going to keep our head down. We're going to listen. We're going to move with purpose, even if we don't feel it. We're going to treat every street like it has a personality, because it does. And we're going to start in a narrow lane, not because it's safer. It's usually not, but because narrow lanes are where the medieval city becomes real. They are the veins of the place, the shortcuts, the hidden routes, the spots where light struggles and sounds bounce off stone, and you can smell dinner cooking behind a wall you can't see over. As we step off the main street, the noise changes. The market sounds get softer behind us. The air is different here, less open, more close. You can almost feel the buildings leaning toward you. The street narrows. Your shoulders suddenly remember you have shoulders. You hear footsteps, not just yours. Somewhere ahead, someone laughs. Somewhere above, a window closes. Somewhere in the distance, another bell or call rolls through the air. And now there's a new feeling. A clock inside your chest, ticking a little louder. Because the gates will close soon. And when they do, the city shifts. People disappear indoors. The last safe noise fades. And what's left is you, the street, and whatever the night decides to bring. So here is the simple truth, right at the start. The city feels safe in daylight. It feels like it has rules and helpers in normal life. But at night, the city becomes a test. And the smallest mistake can keep you from seeing morning. That's not drama. That's just the medieval night. Now take a slow breath. Keep walking with me. The sun is almost down. The gates are about to close. And once they do, everything changes. Okay? Before we go deeper, we need a quick map. Not paper. Not a neat diagram. Just the kind of map you carry in your head so you don't walk into trouble like you're collecting bad ideas as a hobby. Picture the city from above. First, the wall. A medieval city wall is not decoration. It is a giant nope around the whole place. It keeps some danger out, sure. But it also controls people. Inside is protected. Outside is not your problem tonight. The important part is this. Once the gates close, the city becomes a sealed box. And that box has a few lungs. The gates. During the day, gates breathe. Farmers come in with food. Merchants come in with cloth and tools. Travelers come in with tired feet and big dreams. The city takes their money with a smile. At night, the breathing stops. Bars slide. Locks click. Guards get serious. And suddenly you can't just say, "Actually, I'm going to head out." If you are inside after closing, you are committed. Like starting a movie and realizing it's 3 hours long and in a language you don't speak. Now, inside the walls, the city is not one single place. It's many places squeezed together. There are neighborhoods. And in the Middle Ages, neighborhoods can feel like different planets. Near the center, you usually get the big landmarks. The main square. The big church or main religious building. The town hall. Places where rules are visible, where people gather, where you are more likely to be seen. Seen is not always cozy, but it's usually better than unseen. Then you have wealthier streets. Wider, cleaner, more stone, more doors that look expensive. Houses stand straighter. Less we might collapse energy. Then you have the work areas. Smiths, bakers, weavers, tanners, dyers. Workshops that keep the city alive. Some of these spots stay active later because fires need tending and work doesn't always stop when the sun drops. And then there are the edges closer to the wall. Cheaper inns, storage yards, stables, crowded housing. People there are mostly just living, not plotting crimes. But at night, tiredness and hunger make everyone sharper and sometimes rougher. So tonight, remember this: the city changes by district. One street can feel safe, and 2 turns later, it can feel like you should apologize for existing. Now the streets. Main streets are easier. They are wider. They connect the gates to the market and the center. Even in low light, you can follow them like a river. But medieval cities are not grids. They grow like plants. Streets bend around old buildings. Alleys appear where someone left a gap. New houses squeeze into tiny spaces. After a couple hundred years, you get a maze. And the maze gets mean at night. We are in a narrow lane now. Stone walls close on both sides. In some places, upper floors stick out, so the sky above is just a thin strip. That means less light, even before full dark. It also means sounds bounce around weirdly. Footsteps echo. A cough travels. A laugh feels closer than it is. The ground is uneven. Stones stick up. Mud gathers in low spots. If it rained, you slip. If it didn't, it's still gross, just dry gross. You can trip. You can twist an ankle. And there is no quick ambulance. No bright street light. No smooth pavement to save your pride. If you get hurt here, you don't just feel pain. You lose options. And signage won't help you much. There aren't glowing street names. Sometimes shops have symbols, like a boot for a cobbler, grapes for wine, a hammer for a smith. But at night, those symbols become shadows. So how do you navigate? You navigate by landmarks and memory. The big tower, the main square, the sound of a river, the smell of a workshop, the feel of a crossroads. Locals move at night like they're on rails because they know every bend. You do not. So we need a simple plan. 1. Stay near the center as long as you can. More people, more light, more rules. 2. Avoid dead ends. Medieval cities have plenty. They are great if you want privacy. They are not great if someone decides your coin purse looks cute. 3. Don't get pulled into quiet. Quiet sounds safe. Quiet is where things happen without witnesses. And yes, there are guards. Sometimes. But patrols can't be everywhere, especially in lanes like this. Also, not everyone with authority is automatically your friend. We'll get into that later. For now, just know that being noticed by the wrong person is also a problem. So the goal tonight is not to be invisible like a ghost. It's to be boring like a wall. Present. Normal. Not interesting. We keep walking. The lane bends. We pass a tiny courtyard, barely bigger than a room. A heavy door with a wooden bar. A window with weak light behind it. You hear a spoon tap a bowl. Someone is eating. Someone is safe. And that makes you want the same thing fast. Because now the map isn't just in your head. It's in your stomach. Walls and gates are time pressure. Neighborhoods are moods. Narrow streets are funnels. And at night, funnels can trap you. So here's the calm truth before the next chapter begins. If you don't know where you are in a medieval city after dark, you are not just lost. You are vulnerable. And the wrong people can sense that. We're going to avoid it. We're going to stick to landmarks. We're going to move with purpose. Because once the gates close, the city settles into its night shape. And if you lose your way in that shape, you might not find it again until morning. One more thing, just so you don't get too confident, the city also has sound maps. You listen for the loud tavern, the distant bell, the steady hammering, the pack of dogs that owns a corner. At night, sound becomes your street sign. If the sound suddenly drops to nothing, that is your cue to turn around. Silence is not romantic here. Silence is suspicious. The sun is almost gone now. The gold on the rooftops fades into gray. And the city starts doing that evening thing where everything becomes urgent, but nobody says it out loud. This is the moment that traps newcomers. Because you think you still have time. You still see people. You still hear voices. You still see light in windows. So your brain goes, relax. I'll find a place to stay. But medieval time lives inside habits, not clocks. And right now, the habit is simple. Finish your business and get inside. We step back toward a busier street. It's not market chaos anymore. It's market cleanup. Stalls fold. Crates stack. A cart squeaks by. Doors start shutting everywhere. With thumping, latches clicking, bolts sliding home. The city is closing its eyes. And that brings us to the biggest question of the night. Where are you sleeping? A bed is not just comfort here. It's a shield. A roof, a lock, a corner of safety. Without it, the night becomes an open-air test. So we look for an inn. And let's fix your modern expectations right now. A medieval inn is not guaranteed cozy. It can be loud, smoky, crowded. The sheets are a rumor. The host is not your buddy. The host is someone who has seen every kind of traveler, including the ones who lie, steal, fight, or vanish without paying. We spot a hanging sign. Firelight spills out of a doorway. Inside, you hear laughter and cups clinking. Warmth, life. We step in, and the smell hits first. Smoke, sweat, cooked meat, spilled ale. It's not fresh linen. It's human history. The innkeeper looks up. No smile yet. He scans you fast. Shoes, hands, posture. He's reading you like a risk. He asks one word, room, and there's another layer too. You are a stranger. In daylight, being a stranger is interesting. People might ask where you're from. They might sell you something special price, my friend. At night, being a stranger can feel like a spotlight. Your accent is different. Your clothes sit wrong. You don't know the local jokes or the local insults, which is honestly a dangerous gap in your education. In some cities, people expect you to have a reason to be there. A cousin, a merchant contact, a letter, a name you can drop. I'm here to see Master so-and-so from the guild, even if you have no idea who that is. In a place built on reputation, not having connections can make you look suspicious fast. So when you speak to an innkeeper, the goal is simple, sound normal. Ask short questions. Don't overshare. Don't act offended. And definitely don't say, in my country we do it different, because nobody asked, and also you would be wrong. You ask the price. He gives a number that feels spicy, not impossible, just high enough to test you. That's normal. Prices jump at sunset because everyone suddenly remembers they need shelter. You can bargain, but bargaining is tricky. Bargain wrong and you look broke. Look broke and you look risky. Risky guests get turned away even if there is space. So you try to pay. And now you meet another medieval problem. Money is not universal trust. You can't tap a card. You need coins. And if your coin looks unfamiliar, wrong stamp, wrong metal, wrong region, the innkeeper may weigh it, rub it, squint at it, and still decide he doesn't like it. Meanwhile, the whole room notices you have coins. Also not great. So you pay fast, and you keep your pouch close. No counting on the table. No look at my wealth moment. Be boring. Be boring like a wall. Let's say he accepts your money. Great. Now comes the next question. What kind of bed are we talking about? A private room costs more. Most likely you get a spot in a shared sleeping area. A straw mattress. A blanket that has clearly lived a full life. Your stuff stays with you because it has to. And then, just when you start to settle, someone at the bar raises their voice. A joke turns into a shove. A shove turns into a who do you think you are moment. It's not a full brawl, but it's enough to remind you crowds at night come with moods. You glance at the doorway. You imagine sleeping upstairs while downstairs gets louder. And you think very calmly, maybe not this one. So we leave. Outside it's darker. The street feels narrower than it did 5 minutes ago. That's how night works. It shrinks the world. We don't wander randomly. We pick a place 1 or 2 streets inward, away from the gate crowd. Gate inns are convenient, but they're full of strangers coming in late. More strangers means more unpredictable energy. We find a smaller inn. The sign is simpler. The doorway is quieter. Inside, the voices are lower. The firelight is softer. Less shouting, more tiredness. The innkeeper here still watches you, but it's different. He looks like he's managing a routine, not waiting for a fight. He asks, one night, you nod. The price is still not cheap, but it feels fair. You pay quickly. You don't linger. You keep your face calm like you do this all the time. And for the first time tonight, your shoulders drop. Because a bed gives the night a shape, it means you have a base, a place to return to, a door between you and the street. Not perfect safety, but better odds. But don't celebrate too early. A medieval inn is still a medieval building. Wood, fires, strangers, locks you don't control. The night is not done with you. It's just letting you breathe. So here's the quiet truth to end this chapter. If you can't find a bed before the city fully shuts down, your night does not begin in a room. It begins in the street. And the street, after dark, is a different world. Now that we have a bed lined up, you might think the hard part is done. Like cool. Shelter. We're good. But medieval knights are not impressed by your optimism. Because the moment the sun really drops, the first big problem shows up. Light. Not good lighting. Not soft, warm lamp vibes. I mean real light. The kind that keeps you from walking into a wall or stepping into something you truly do not want to step into. In the medieval city, darkness is not just less visibility. It is a system. It changes how people move. It changes what is allowed. It changes what looks suspicious. It changes what looks like money. And it changes you. We step outside the inn for a quick look. Just a small walk. Test. We're not starting trouble. We're just seeing what the street feels like now. The difference is instant. In the day, you see faces. At dusk, you see shapes. At night, you see guesses. A few places have light. A doorway with firelight spilling out. A window with a candle. A smithy that still has a glow like a small red eye. But between those points, black. And here comes the medieval dilemma. If you carry light, you can see. But now everyone can see you. That's the trade. Let's talk options. Candles are small and gentle. They are not bright. They are also not cheap, depending on the kind. You might get a tallow candle. That means animal fat. It smells a bit. It drips. It smokes. And it will absolutely ruin your vibe if you're going for a mysterious traveler. You'll be more like walking meat scent stick. A beeswax candle is nicer, cleaner, better smell, better flame. Also more expensive because bees do not work overtime for free. Oil lamps are steady if you have good oil, but you need a lamp. You need oil. You need something to carry it. And in wind, the flame can flicker and die. Or worse, it can spill. Hot oil is not your friend. Hot oil is not a bedtime story. Hot oil is an emergency. Torches are brighter. They can scare off some problems because fire makes people hesitate. But torches are also loud in their own way. They crackle. They smell. They throw wild shadows. They make you visible from far away. They basically announce, hello, I am here. I have a body. I might also have a wallet. Also, torches are not a simple stick. A proper torch needs material, pitch or resin, cloth, binding. It's a little craft project. And you are not here for arts and crafts. Now there's another thing you might not expect. In many medieval towns, there are actual rules about night lighting. Not always written like modern laws. Sometimes it's just custom. Sometimes it's enforced by whoever feels like enforcing it. Why? Because fire is dangerous. Cities are packed. Many buildings are wood. Roofs are dry. And one careless flame can turn the whole street into a disaster. So if you are walking with a torch late at night, a guard might stop you. Not because they hate light, but because they hate burning down. And if you are walking in total darkness, a guard might stop you because you look like you're doing something sneaky. So what's the winning move? The winning move is boring again. You do not wander for fun. You do not explore. You do not take one more street just because it looks interesting. Medieval cities are not museums at night. They are obstacle courses. If you must move, you move close to known light sources. Busy tavern streets, main squares, places with people. You keep your own small light cover if you have it. You let it help you see the ground, not advertise your face. And you never ever do the modern thing where you stare at something shiny and forget the world behind you. Because shadows here are not just shadows. They are hiding spots. They are doorways. They are corners where someone can stand perfectly still and become invisible. You notice how sound changes now. In darkness, every sound feels louder. A cough travels. A laugh echoes. Your own footsteps sound like a confession. And now you get why locals want to be indoors. Inside, they can control their space. They can bolt the door. They can put the candle down. They can keep the fire safe in a hearth. Outside, everything is unknown. So when you see a family pulling shutters closed, it's not just about sleep. It's about drawing a line. Night stays out. We stay in. We walk back toward the inn. A patrol passes on the main street. You don't see them at first. You hear them. Boots. A low voice. Maybe a lantern glow. Maybe not. And you feel it in your chest. The night is being watched. Not fully. Not perfectly. But watched enough that moving around gets complicated. You realize that surviving a night is not about fighting a sword duel. It's about not getting into any situation that forces you to fight. And light is the first situation maker. It can save you from a fall. It can also attract the wrong attention. It can also get you questioned. It can also start a fire if you're careless. So we make a simple plan for the next hours. We do not go deep into alleys. We do not carry a big torch unless we truly must. We keep near known routes. We move with purpose. We return to shelter early, before the streets thin out, because that is the big secret of medieval night survival. You don't win the night by being tough. You win by being early. Now we step inside the inn again. The room is warmer. The fire is controlled. The light is contained. The night outside feels like a different world already. And if you listen, you can hear the city doing its final closing sounds. The last latch, the last shutter, the last footsteps of someone who made it in time. And then, quiet. That quiet is not peaceful. Not yet. It's the pause before the city fully turns into its night face. At some point tonight, you will want water. Not a fun drink, just water. Your throat gets dry from smoke, from walking, from nerves. And you remember how simple water is in the modern world. Then you remember where you are. Clean water in a medieval city is not everywhere. It's a resource. It's a routine. It's something locals know how to find. There may be wells. There may be public fountains. There may be a river nearby. But water exists is not the same as safe water in a dark city when you are a stranger. During the day, you can follow people. You can see where they fill buckets. You can buy from a known seller. At night, the city's water system goes quiet. People are indoors. Public places are emptier. And emptier places at night are complicated. So most travelers do the safer thing. They drink inside an inn. That sounds simple. But even inside an inn, water is not always the default. Many people drink weak ale or watered wine because it's often considered safer or at least more familiar. Not because everyone is trying to get drunk. Sometimes it's just habit. Sometimes it's because the water tastes wrong. Sometimes it's because the innkeeper gives you what they have. But let's say you ask for water. You might get it. You might get a cup that tastes like wood, smoke, metal, and this cup has been through things. You drink anyway because thirst is persuasive. Now, the cleanliness issue is not just about water. It's about washing. Your hands get dirty fast in this city. The door handles are dirty. The coins are dirty. The street is dirty. You touch anything, you carry the city on your skin. And if you want to wash properly, you need water and soap. Soap exists, yes, but it's not always common or cheap. Warm water is work. Someone must heat it. Someone must carry it. So washing becomes a privilege, not a reflex. This matters because small problems grow at night. A cut on your hand. Dirt gets in. A sore foot. Moisture and grime make it worse. A scratch? You keep touching it without thinking. And now your body is spending energy defending you instead of letting you sleep. Also, thirst makes you sloppy. When you are thirsty, you make faster decisions. You accept things you shouldn't. You go places you shouldn't. So if you ever think, I'll just step out to find water, stop. That is a classic medieval mistake. The safest water plan is boring. Drink before the street's fully empty. Drink where there are people. Drink where the container is yours, or at least watched. Don't follow a stranger down a quiet lane because they said, I know a good well. Yes, that sounds obvious. But night makes obvious things feel negotiable. Now let's talk about one more medieval truth. Water is heavy. You can't just carry a big bottle easily. Containers are clay, wood, leather. They leak. They taste like their material. They break. And if you are traveling, carrying water is a whole extra burden. So you might drink less to avoid needing it, which makes you dehydrated, which makes you tired, which makes you trip. Which brings us back to Chapter 5, the ground trying to end your career. See? Everything connects. Inside the inn, you notice how people handle it. Some have small jugs near them. Some sip slowly. Some just accept the dry throat and go to sleep. You also notice that people guard their drinks a little. Not paranoid, just careful. That's a medieval skill, casual caution. So you do the same. You drink what you need. Not too much. You don't want to be waking up at midnight needing to find a latrine in a strange building. That is also not a fun quest. Then you wash your hands the best you can, even if it's just rubbing with a damp cloth. You do what you can because control matters. A small routine can keep you calm, and calm matters more than you think. Because surviving a medieval night is not just physical, it's mental. If you panic, you rush. If you rush, you fall. If you fall, you get hurt. And if you get hurt, the night has options. So the water lesson is simple. In the medieval city, water is never just water. It's comfort. It's risk. It's routine. And getting it at the wrong time, in the wrong place, can turn a normal night into a bad story. Now slow down. Sip. Rest. Stay inside. Because next comes the other basic need. Food. There's a special sadness to medieval hunger at night. Not the dramatic kind, not the movie kind, the quiet kind where your stomach feels hollow and your brain starts bargaining with itself. I can sleep hungry. I'll eat in the morning. I'm fine. And then 5 minutes later, your body says, no, you are not fine. You are cranky and weak, and your hands are cold. Food is fuel. At night, fuel is survival. During the day, food is everywhere. Bread sellers, stew pots, roasted meat, cheese, fruit in season. You can buy, you can barter, you can grab a quick bite while walking. At night, options shrink fast. The city doesn't have a 24/7 store. Most cooking happens in homes or inns. Street sellers disappear. Fires get banked low. Kitchens close. So your best chance is the inn meal. And the inn meal is usually one of two vibes. Stew that has been alive since sunrise. Bread that could double as building material. Stew is actually good for you. It's warm. It's soft. It's easier to digest than chewing a rock. It can be vegetables, grains, bits of meat if you're lucky, maybe beans. The flavor depends on the cook, the spices available, and how much the cook likes you. Which, honestly, is a life principle. But here's the thing, food safety is not modern. You don't have refrigeration. You don't have sealed packaging. You don't have best before dates. You have smell, taste, and hope. Most of the time, people know how to keep food in decent shape. They salt things. They smoke things. They dry things. They keep stews hot enough. But mistakes happen. And if you eat something that doesn't agree with you, your night gets very, very long. Also, eating makes you sleepy. That's good for bedtime content. But eating too much makes you sluggish. And sluggish in a medieval inn is not ideal. You want to sleep, not become the loud snorer everyone throws bread at. So you eat smart. You pick warm. You pick simple. You drink something safe. You avoid anything that smells questionable. You do not try to be adventurous with mystery sausage. Mystery sausage is a medieval gamble. Now, hunger also makes you emotionally fragile. It makes you more likely to argue. More likely to take offense. More likely to stare at someone who bumps you. And in a medieval city at night, small social errors have bigger consequences. So food is not just calories. It's mood control. You notice locals eat in a certain way. Not rushed. Not dramatic. They eat like they are refueling for tomorrow, not performing for today. They talk low. They keep an eye on the room. They don't leave food unattended. You copy that. You keep your bowl close. You don't flash coins. You don't brag. You don't complain loudly about the taste. You don't want the cook to hear you. The cook controls your future. After the meal, your body relaxes. Warmth spreads in your chest. Your shoulders loosen. And for the first time, the medieval city feels almost normal. That's when it gets you. Because comfort makes you careless. You might think, maybe I'll step outside for a little air. Or I'll just walk to see the square at night. Or I'll find that cool alley again. No. The meal is the closing ceremony of your outside time. You eat, you settle, you stay in. Because outside, the streets are darker now. Fewer people. More silence. More risk. So here is the lesson of food. If you don't eat before the night fully takes over, you will make worse choices. And in this city, bad choices are expensive. Eat, drink, keep it simple. Then move to the next survival skill. How to be a stranger in a room full of locals.